Welcome to Jumanji. Just kidding, it's the Amplified Man's channel. I'm going to see Jumanji, what's it called, Next Level or some shit. I'm going to see that movie right after this review, so it's fresh on my dome piece. I never saw the original one with Robin Williams, but everybody tells me it's really good. I never even knew it existed, to be honest with you. I was probably doing some stupid shit when that movie originally came out. What was that, guys? Mid-90s? Late 90s, maybe? I don't know. But Robin Williams is brilliant, so I wish I did see that before The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black version, because then I would have had a better understanding and have been able to compare them better. But to me, I know Jumanji for The Rock version. So this one is an extension of that. Should be pretty cool, hopefully. I saw some of the previews. Should be entertaining. So I'm going to go see that movie after this review. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just my day and how it's going to begin. Hopefully you guys are rocking out this weekend as well. If you caught Smackdown last night, we're about to review it. If you didn't catch Smackdown last night, I'm about to tell you about it. And first, I have to say this right from the jump, and I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get to these segments, but I have to say this from the jump, and it involves Liv Morgan and Bray Wyatt. Now, is this likely to happen, what I'm about to say? No. Do they already have another direction for Liv Morgan? It looks that way. Especially from the vignette that they played, what was it, on Monday Night Raw? About this makeover for Liv Morgan. So it's probably not going to happen, what I'm about to say. And that's absolutely a lost chance and opportunity for WWE, because it would have been amazing. But Vince McMahon would not know an awesome idea these days if it smacked him right dab in the face. Or he's just too stubborn to realize that other people think it's a good idea. It didn't come from him, so it's not gonna happen. But the idea that I'm talking about is matching up Liv Morgan with Bray Wyatt. It was sitting in their lap. We all knew she was coming back as a different identity / character anyway, and all of this time off was just for a makeover? What is she gonna come back as? A Marilyn Monroe type character? Is she gonna come back like Miss Elizabeth? Ooh, yeah! God bless her and rest her soul. She was one of the greatest. But what is she coming back as? A sensational Sherry type? She can't play any of those because that's not who she is. Liv Morgan is a little bit quirky, right? That's why we love her. She's a little bit outside the box. She's not like the rest. A little unordinary, but in a great way. That's why we love Liv Morgan. She fits perfect with somebody like Bray Wyatt, especially somebody like The Fiend. If you're gonna make her over, and she's a little quirky and outside the box anyway, what if you put her with Wyatt in that Fiend character? And I'm not saying if you're like, BC, I don't know if I want somebody with Wyatt all the time in that Fiend character. I hear you. They don't have to be together all the time. They can literally have their own identities, but they're still together in the grander spectrum of it all. Kind of like the Wyatt family back in the day. But if you have Bray Wyatt with all of his funhouse toys / friends anyway, why not make some real life friends as well? Or, even better, Liv Morgan could be the Fiend's one friend. It doesn't even have to be Sister Abigail, but the Fiend's one friend, right? Bray Wyatt has all of his funhouse friends. Well, this is the Fiend's friend, and this is Liv Morgan. And we saw a perfect opportunity last night when Bray Wyatt unveiled this new puppet, and it looks like it could be Liv Morgan, right? Or something she would come back as. It's this puppet with that diabolical Wyatt face, or the Fiend face, and it has all of these blonde locks, like dreaded up and twisted all over the place. This is something Liv Morgan would look great as. It doesn't have to be the stereotypical image of that. Maybe you tweak it a little bit to fit Liv a little bit better. But it's sitting right in their lap. You're coming up with this stupid, weird makeover for Liv, and it obviously didn't land because immediately on social media, people are like, what the fuck? This is what they're bringing back Liv for? A makeover? What does that mean? Is she gonna have fucking red hair now? Is she gonna be the next Eva Marie? She gonna come back with fucking some tattoos? Gonna come back dressed like an astronaut? A spacesuit? What is happening with Liv? What makeover is this gonna make us care about her anymore? What are we going to look at this new makeover Liv Morgan and say, yup, she's different from the rest? This was the time to elevate the Bray Wyatt character even more than it already is, while at the same time catapulting Liv Morgan. There's something in Liv Morgan. I see something in her. I know a lot of you guys might be like, what's the big deal? It's just Liv Morgan. I see something in her. First of all, she's not a horrible wrestler. That's a fucking starting point. But on top of that, there's a character in her. There's something about Liv that gets this business, and she's starting to become captivating. We don't know if she's fully captivating yet because Vince has never given her more than a fucking 5-minute match, basically. But there's all the ingredients for something special in Liv Morgan. You give her a badass character and a story that she can run with and really extrude who she is and what she can do. Guys, I'm telling you, Liv Morgan could be something. You see that puppet/doll that Bray Wyatt had last night, and you couldn't help but think, man, if you brought that to life, that could be Liv Morgan. Could you guys imagine, like, her debut? You have, like, a dollhouse up on the staging area, like a freaky dollhouse, right? This music is playing like remember those round-up music boxes? You twist it, and it starts playing this creepy, eerie music, and that's playing, and all of a sudden, out of the dollhouse, you have, like, one of those little saw guys on a tricycle, that fucking crazy mask, or maybe you could have the two little fucking girls from The Shining, something like that. And they're riding out on a tricycle, eyes all budged out, and it's freaky. And all this weird shit is happening in this house, and all of a sudden, Liv Morgan comes out in that type of doll/weird new toy that Bray Wyatt just debuted last night. That comes to life, and it's Liv Morgan. She comes out of a fucking twisted dollhouse. Pretty cool, man. I think so anyway. Better than what WWE is producing the past 5+ years. Give me something interesting. Let's create and dedicate some time to this. Instead, all of this time, and they're like, Liv Morgan makeover. She's coming back with a makeover. What the fuck does that mean? It doesn't even have to be Sister Abigail, but her in that Fiend family, not even the Wyatt family, shit, the Fiend family. That's badass. And again, they don't have to be together all the time either. You can let Liv do her own thing while the Fiend is doing his own thing. But every now and again, they come right back because they're one of the same. I just couldn't help but think of this, man. And you guys know how my dome piece works. When I watch this stuff and I see something that could be cool, I have to talk about it. And I know this is probably most likely not going to happen because Vince McMahon, again, doesn't know a great idea if it smacked him right dab in the face. And number two, he's too stubborn. So if somebody told him it was a good idea, he wouldn't listen because it wasn't his idea. So yes, it most likely isn't going to happen. The vignettes have already started playing about a new Liv Morgan makeover, which that just ruins anything anyway. But there's still time left. And as long as there's still time left, there's still time to do the right thing. You could scrap this makeover thing, give it another couple weeks if you need to redefine this thing for Liv Morgan and the Fiend, and this could be something cool. There's still time left. Liv Morgan has not debuted this new makeover character, so let's really make her over. Let's have her do something cool. This is awesome. You make her like a Papa Shango type character? That's fun. You guys remember Papa Shango or not? He was one of my favorite characters of all time. Was it over the top shit that he did? Absolutely. I remember one time he literally made the Ultimate Warrior just repeatedly just keep... how's the nice way to say it? He just kept throwing up out of nowhere because Papa Shango pretty much casted a spell on him. So the Warrior just profusely just started throwing up at ringside. Then they showed something backstage with the Warrior being attended to by medical staff, and he kept throwing up. I remember one time, I think it was the Warrior again, he was talking to Mean Gene Okerlund up at the podium for an interview, and all of a sudden this weird black voodoo liquid started streaming down his face, out of nowhere. It was another Papa Shango type deal where he casted a spell on the Warrior. And that's the type of shit that character could do. Now, is it over the top? Of course. Believable? That's in the eye of the beholder. But when it was a character like Papa Shango, it totally worked. If you make Liv Morgan that type of character, even a little bit of a witch in her, I'm down. It's pro wrestling. Where's the fun over-the-top characters? They're not around anymore. I have a lifetime supply of smaller flippity-doodah guys. I have a lifetime supply of them in WWE alone. I got the Ricochets, the Humbertos, the Sin Caras, anybody that you could fucking imagine. Ali, even Shorty G. And I like all of them for the most part, by the way. And they all have a place in WWE. But I have a lifetime supply of them. I can go to every promotion, and I have a lifetime supply of smaller flippity-doodah guys. Where are those larger-than-life characters, or characters that are a bit over the top that fit the pro wrestling narrative and what it should be at its simplistic core? That's what I miss. Characters. As cheesy as it may seem, I miss the Earthquakes. The big boss mans. The dude was a corrections officer. Nails. He was an inmate. Papa Shango was a fucking witchcraft / spell casting individual. I miss all that, man. The Undertaker came from that time period. Shit, I miss Giant Gonzalez. A lot of you guys don't even know who the fuck that is. A Yokozuna. I miss that shit, man. You sprinkle a little bit of that for the old school fan like me, please. I have a lifetime supply of everybody else. Give me a larger-than-life character, or at least an over-the-top character that I can have fun with when I watch, and that I'm really thoroughly entertained. Little Liv Morgan could actually have a bigger persona. She could be that over-the-top character. Give her a chance. What is this makeover shit? I think of that doll that Bray Wyatt debuted last night, and I think of bringing that to life in the form of Liv Morgan, and all these creative juices start flowing in my dome piece. You're telling me that billion-dollar company with 714 writers can't think of anything fun for Liv Morgan? Absolutely dumbfounded that they don't take the time and the energy to see this, but yet we see it. We see what this company can be. We see what these superstars can extend to and excel to. That company doesn't see it in them. Liv Morgan comes back as what? Just another version of Liv Morgan, just a little bit more turned up. Okay, we'll take it. We like Liv. But if you take Liv and you bring her back as something quirky, crazy, and out there, like her personality and what matches that, she's going to excel. I just see her with that Fiend character, and it could be something awesome. I just wish that Vince McMahon saw that. Vince, let her in. You still have time. I know you played vignettes already for the makeover. Let that be the makeover. A real makeover. Like a total character rehaul that is gonna skyrocket her to the moon. And if it's done correctly, she ain't ever have to come back. Let's go over the SmackDown review for Friday the 13th, 2019. So it was a fitting debut for this new doll character too, if Vince does want to make her Liv Morgan. Again, guys, I don't want to get your hopes up. This is probably not going to happen because, again, the vignettes already started running. It looks like Vince just wants to bring her back as the same old Liv Morgan, just maybe slightly different. But there's still time. We can all think about what could have been and what should be. Something better for Liv, something better for all of us. But anyway, this was Friday the 13th. So let's talk about it. This was pretty scary to start the show off, so it was fitting for Friday the 13th. King Corbin heads to the ring, right? Pretty freaky. He comes to the ring on his royal throne. Dolph is joining him. I almost said Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is joining him in the ring. And for the next 7 minutes, I shit you not, 7 minutes straight, Corbin goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on about Roman Reigns. Finally, the madness comes to an end when the New Day come to the ring. And for the next 7 minutes, Kofi and Corbin go back and forth with one another. While not the most captivating segment, obviously, I do have to give credit to Kofi because his mic game has just improved immensely. I'm not saying he's incredible on the stick, But Kofi Kingston has this newfound confidence and belief in his own words, which is really good to see. He's hitting all his points. He's not stumbling. This is something that just a few years ago, even last year when Kofi Kingston got the microphone, you were pretty much like, oh shit, he's just reciting his words on a page. There's no conviction in what he's saying, right? There's nothing that's really standing out that is telling us that he believes in his own words. Even though they're not his own words, right? Some fucking dipshit writer wrote them for him. You still have to have that believability in what you're saying. Kofi never really had that. It almost looked like all the time Kofi was just trying to get it done with. Now, Kofi's taking his time in these promo interviews, and he's really showing that he's believing what he's saying. It's a newfound confidence, and I think this title reign that he just had really helped him out. So now he's believing his words, that he does belong there, that he is a top-tier talent. Who the fuck are you talking to me like that? I like that in Kofi. I just wanted to give that credit, guys. Because sometimes I fly by these reviews and I don't give all of the small nugget of information that I want to tell you guys and talk about. Sometimes I'm going a little bit too fast. I want to slow it down and sometimes give credit where it's due in the smaller areas. And Kofi Kingston looked really good on that microphone last night. But again, it was 15 minutes of leading to nothing. In fact, when it was all said and done, this just led to what we knew it was going to lead to. Kofi Kingston versus King Corbin as the main event. I guess that's a little better than what we thought was going to happen, which is the tag team match, New Day versus Corbin and Ziggler. But don't hold your breath because that actually ended up happening last night anyway. And you kind of knew in the back of your dome piece when they set up Kofi versus Corbin, you kind of knew it was going to end in a tag match anyway. And sure enough, it did. And that's what I mean. When this company is that predictable in a way that's not good, then that's just poor business. That's poor business when we are dreading what is going to happen because we already know ahead of time. That's poor business. Backstage, Corbin's security is laid out in his locker room. Clearly, Roman Reigns is in the building, and they were promoting for the past 48 hours beforehand that Roman was going to show up unchained, so the dog is off his leash. So Roman is obviously in the building. He takes out Corbin's security, and this happened a couple of times in backstage segments last night. So it did pump up a little bit of, oh shit, where's Roman going to unveil himself, you know? When's he going to finally show up? Because he's taking everybody out in the backstage area. So I guess that was okay. Dedicated some time at least to this. Alexa and Nikki Cross is up next, taking on Mandy and Sonya. Mandy and Sonya actually jump Alexa and Nikki backstage in Gorilla because Alexa and Nikki were giving one of those gorilla position interviews before they head out. Sonya and Mandy didn't want to wait, or they just wanted to gain the upper hand, or both. So they came back to Gorilla, jumped them, and then dragged them back to the ring. Once they were all back at the ringside area, the bell rings. 4 minutes later, the bell rings again because this thing was over. And Nikki actually pins Sonya. So then again, this was a short match. I think the only thing that really stood out was Sonya and Mandy jumping them backstage in Gorilla. That was like the one cool thing in this match. Other than that, it was business as usual. The women get 4 minutes, and we're not going to remember anything about it. Actually, that's a lie, because there's one other thing we're going to remember. Sonya Deville's beach towel that's hanging from her ass. Again, that is awesome that you want to promote what you believe or what you are, right? In the whole gay pride thing. That is awesome. Do you have to have a beach towel that is distracting us from the match? You have this multicolored, larger than fucking the Eiffel Tower beach towel, and it's just dragging from Sonya's ass. Why is it needed, Ben? It's such an eyesore. We get it. Can't you just have like a little handkerchief, a multicolored handkerchief stemming out of your fucking ass? That'll prove the point of what you believe in and who you are, and you love it, and that's awesome. But a beach towel? Fuck, man. That's, I've been saying this since she started doing that. You gotta shrink that. Put that in the dryer a few times or something. That shit is way too big. Fuck. Shorty G and Alley Oop are up next versus The Revival. The best part of this was the entrance of The Revival because you had Scott Wilder, Dash Wilder trip on his entrance. He literally, there's the new layout for the SmackDown entrance, so you have those kind of sideboards that are leading into the actual entrance way. Well, you had Dash Wilder actually, like, backwards, like, looking up at his own Tron or something, and he just planted, man. He went ass over tea kettle. It was pretty fucking hilarious, I gotta admit. It's one of those things. If somebody falls and they're okay, they're not injured, you're gonna laugh, right? If they're really hurt, then you're like, oh shit, and you run over and you help them. But if they fall and they're okay, and he like looked up on his ass at Dawson, and he's like, dude! And Dawson's like, the fuck you doing? You guys gotta watch it. You look at Dawson. Dawson turns around. He's like, the fuck are you? Get off your ass, man. We're supposed to be badass, not on your ass. So that was the best part of this, man. You had Wilder just go ass over a tea kettle on his entrance. Him tripping was just the highlight of the fucking night, probably. This was actually a good match. I just couldn't give a shit about it. The Revival has given how many pushes? Little ones. And then immediately they're taking back tenfold. So Vince gives them an inch and then takes them back a mile. How many times have we seen this? It's like a Braun Strowman push. We've seen him get pushed, then taken back. Pushed, then taken. And after a while, what ended up happening to Braun Strowman? We stopped believing in him. Why? Because we're not going to be fooled anymore. Same thing with the Revival. Why do I believe in them? I don't. Vince has ruined that. It's going to take a long time to get that back now. That's what I mean about 50-50 booking, guys. I mentioned AEW and Sammy Guevara as the biggest thing, right? People look at it as a little thing. Oh, they're a brand new company. But Sammy Guevara has only won 3 televised matches in his last 9, if you include Double or Nothing and Fight for the Fallen. 3 wins and 6 losses. And what is that doing? That's planting in your dome piece that he's just a jobber when it's all said and done. He's nothing special. And he's in one of their biggest factions, the Inner Circle, where you can go to every single promotion and look at 50-50 booking and how it's ruining people. And WWE has perfected 50-50 booking. WWE has perfected how to ruin individuals. The Revival should have been something by now, and we just look at them as jobbers. So why should I care about this? And on the other side, you have Shorty G. I can't believe I'm calling him Shorty G. So first of all, you put a ridiculous name on him, and then you just put him in another tag team. This guy has been tied down to tag teams his entire career. Shelton Benjamin, Jason Jordan, you had Bobby Roode, you have now Ali. I call him Alley-Oop because it's only a matter of time before this basketball character in Shorty G gets matched up with an Alley-Oop. Vince is going to do it. So of course I didn't care about this. No reason to care about any of these motherfuckers. Backstage, there's a Bayley interview, but it's interrupted when off to the side, Elias and Dana Brooke are strumming the guitar and maybe strumming other things. Who knows what Dana's doing. But this kind of distracts Bayley from what she was saying, so she heads over to Elias and Dana Brooke, and she says, do you mind? I'm cutting an interview here. And Elias starts to cut a song for Bayley because he was her secret Santa or something. So his gift to her is a song, and it was just a diss track on Bayley. It ended with, sorry to be so rude, but with that new haircut, Bayley, you look like a dude. So it was pretty funny. But Bayley got pissed off and challenged Dana Brooke to a match. Dana Brooke said, challenge accepted. We then head out of our we end our number 1, I should say, with that aforementioned Bayley and Dana Brooke match. The match was only 2 minutes long, but Dana Brooke doing a Batista bomb was pretty fucking awesome and fitting. That's right, Dana Brooke did a Batista bomb in this match. That's ironic and fitting because in real life, she is getting real life Batista bombs done to her. That's right, she's receiving some Batista bombs, don't get it twisted. So now she's doing her own version of a Batista bomb. I liked it, man. It's a different little layer of Dana Brooke. Again, this was only 2 minutes long. The Batista bomb had no effect. Bayley ends up winning this match. As she should. She's the champion. Here's a crazy concept. Let's book her as such. Our number 2 begins with a really cool one-on-one sit-down interview with Renee Young and The Miz at Miz's LA home. This was very well done, and it helps for character development. I can't stress that enough. This is where you really get a little more personal with the character, and you either are going to believe in them or at least understand them better. And either one helps them in the long run. And again, it not only does it help for the personal aspect, but it also adds another layer to this rushed TLC match that we're getting between Bray Wyatt and The Miz. This was all done in 1 week. So this adds another layer to that as well. So not just what it does for the character development of Miz and The Fiend, or in this case, just Bray Wyatt, but it also adds a layer to the match that they're going to have because it's so rushed. Hopefully that makes sense. Maurice ends up screaming during this interview. The Miz rushes over, and on the baby monitor, Monroe, their daughter, is playing with Bray's Funhouse friends. More specifically, this what I call Liv Morgan doll. Yes, I know it's probably not going to end up being her, but I'm going to call it the Liv Morgan doll. So that's when Miz and Maurice end up rushing upstairs to Monroe's aid, but Bray is nowhere to be found. Now, I don't like the fact that there was a camera already waiting for Miz and Maurice once they got to her room, because it's like, hey, what's up, camera dude? What are you doing in my daughter's room? You know, it's kind of weird. And on top of that, it would have been much more believable if you had that one camera that followed Miz and Maurice up the stairs. And it's a little more chaotic too when you have that one character dimension, you know, because it's more real life. You know, you ever see the movie Blair Witch Project, man? That movie was built on like a $9,000 budget, but it really became something cool because it was one camera that was supposed to be in a believable aspect, or at least looked upon as such. That should have been a one camera type deal. Instead, you had all these multi-camera shots. It kind of takes you out of the game. But it was still done pretty damn good, and I liked it for many reasons. Was it a bit over the top? Of course. Pro wrestling is a bit over the top, so I'm all cool with that. I like this not only for the storytelling purposes, but it adds so much to the Bray Wyatt character, not just the Miz character. A believability that he is, in fact, that sadistic alter ego that he portrays. I love that. Not just the Fiend character, the Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers type character that he plays. That character is just a little twisted, and this adds to that. Playing with the toys and Monroe, something pretty cool, man, you know, and I just think that adds such an awesome layer to something that, let's be honest, the only thing we were interested in here for this match was seeing Bray Wyatt compete again. Now, there is a little bit more to this story, and it all happened within just a little over a week because they dedicated the time. This is what I try to tell you guys. I don't just preach for my health. I don't just spew all this shit and it helps me out. I'm trying to help this fucking business one step at a time, one video at a time. When you dedicate time and energy, passion, focus, detail to a segment, it's going to come off pretty fucking cool. Next up, Shinsuke and Cesaro defeated Heavy Machinery. This match was happening because earlier in the show, Cesaro took Otis's ham and slammed it to the floor. It's a long story. So anyway, back to this match. Damn, how over Heavy Machinery is getting. But of course, Vince McMahon has no clue, so he books them to lose yet again. But I'm telling you, if you listen to that reaction, and you just probably know it yourself, Heavy Machinery, they're a legit tag team. They're fun to watch. They got that energy. People are behind them. If Vince continues to make them lose, why not? 50-50 them until nobody cares about them. That's the WWE way and their philosophy. That's their MO. Come to WWE. We'll book you till no one cares about you. The main event was Kofi versus Corbin. After a while, this turns into anarchy, and we all knew what was going to happen, and it ended up happening. It turned into a tag team match. Kofi and Big E versus Corbin and Ziggler. At the end of this, also what we knew was going to happen happened, and that was Corbin and Ziggler getting DQ'd. Roman Reigns finally hits the ring to save the New Day. He sends Dolph Ziggler through a table upon a ladder, so Dolph's up on a ladder. Roman Reigns clocks him, and Dolph flies off the ladder and into a table. Corbin retreats, and SmackDown ends with the biggest dog, Michael Cole, right? He has his little orgasm with that. The biggest dog! He's in his yard barking. And that's how SmackDown goes off the air. So, again, this is Vince trying to show you that, see, Roman and Charlotte are not in the spotlight because they're not going for championships for most of 2019. But in reality, they've been in all of the main events, basically. So Roman Reigns is constantly ending these shows. Why? I ask you why. Honestly. This is leading, I'm fearing this, guys. This is going to lead to a WrestleMania Roman Reigns title victory. I'm telling you, this is what it looks like to me. It looks like I would not be surprised if Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble and then goes on to repeat what we've seen for years. Roman wins the Rumble, Roman goes on to win championship. Roman ends WrestleMania. This looks like all of this was just to say, see, we got them right where we wanted them. Now it's time to catapult Roman again. Fuck. It's not what's needed, man. Roman is always ending these shows, even when it's something stupid like him and Baron Corbin yet again. They're pumping up a match for TLC. You can make this tables, you can make this ladders, you can make this a Texas death match. You can make this a pit of misery match where the loser never returns. It's not going to make it any more interesting. Actually, that's bullshit. A pit of misery, loser never returns match is fucking epic. Give me that and I'm captivated. But other than that, it's just Baron and Roman, let's be honest. Fuck is that doing? Vince, listen to me. You have time, man. You have time to make Liv something fucking cool. Match her up with this Fiend character and let him go to the fucking moon never to return. Please, we ask you. It'd be so fucking cool. And do that dollhouse segment that I fucking said. That'd be pretty cool. Liv house, crazy eerie music playing, little fucking lads on tricycles all looking all freaky. It's pretty cool, right? Let's do some fun shit. You still have time with Liv. That's it, guys. I'll see you next week, obviously, for the TLC Good, the Bad, and the Ugly video. I will see you for the Raw review, and I will have an impromptu Wednesday video, which could be the last video for the year. So keep subscribed and notified on the channel, and you guys will know. And then we're going to pack it up, and then I'll see you guys in 2020. For now, kick the rest of this weekend's ass. Amplified style, baby. Yow! Check you later.